Did you know that your ancestors celebrated this very moment, this very day, thousands of years ago? Who knows how much way back? It might seem like it's ordinary winter day today. And this is something I said last year. I also reflected on the ancestors. I reflected on little signs in nature. Sun being low on the horizon. Sometimes it's not very nice when you're driving because it always hits right in your eyes, except when it's behind you. But apart from that, nature is still, everything is pretty much dead. But as you know, it is only an illusion because everything is pretty much preparing for a new cycle of life. And so should you. This previous year, well, still the current one if you wish technically, it was not very easy for a lot of people. Everything happening in economy, in politics, in whatever, job market, you name it. A lot of people had really rough time, and even not considering the economy and all those global or regional level, let's say it events or metrics, there are some personal tragedies always happening. Somebody losing their parents, their grandparents, their family member, their friend, their child even, their pet, their neighbor they were close with or not so close with. It's all around us, these little moments when one thing is here in one moment and then it is gone in another. You never know, and this is something I always have in my mind. You never really know when the moment will come to get you and to take you away from this world. You might be the most careful person when you walk alone at night, or when you are checking your surroundings, or when you are driving carefully, or when you are carefully planning for your family and financial future. But then one day, and I always like to use this example, one random day in your own home, which should be your safe heaven of sorts, you are just casually preparing lunch in the kitchen, and you make this awkward movement, let's say, with your head, and something snaps in your neck. That's crucial. Maybe you had some pre-existing condition or something, and you're gone. I want you to think about, to meditate upon this story and this moment, no matter how fictional it is at the moment. It's always happening in one form or another as we speak, and it might happen to all of us. It doesn't have to be this extreme. It doesn't have to be you leaving this world, but something bad might happen at any moment. No matter how many safety measures you take, no matter what you plan. Now let me tell you this. A lot of weird things happened to me in this last year, and I think as I'm speaking to people, I'm not the only one. Weird things being, sometimes what some people consider some too spiritual talk. If you say synchronicity or meaningful coincidences or some weird events that just, they happen and they're just weird. I don't know how to explain it differently. The point is, you can plan as much as you want, and of course some amount of planning is good and is a baseline for what is to come, sort of, but no matter what you plan and how well you plan it, you never know what next day is going to bring. And scratch that, you never know what next second is going to bring. Maybe cow will fall from the skies on my head. I mean, the possibility of that happening is low, but it's not zero. Now imagine how many ridiculous things there are in the world that have possibility of low, but not zero. I'm standing, actually sitting on some kind of fallen tree, which I hope won't fall. I think it is tough enough. I'm not sure what kind of tree was it. We are in the oak forest. I think some other trees as well, so oak is a high possibility, but maybe beech, I'm not sure. Anyway, I want you to think about the light, no matter how dark your days were, no matter who or what disappointed you, no matter who or what hurt you, even if it was yourself. I want you to forgive yourself for that matter and everybody and everything else and move on. You know, I am aware not everybody has the time and has the, we can call it even at some point, privilege to take time from your day out of all the responsibilities, job-wise, family-wise, whatever, survival-wise, and spend few hours or days alone in the forest. I get that. Not everybody even has access, physical access to nature, to forests. And I always feel it is tiny bit maybe hypocritical if somebody like me is sitting here and spitting my, let's say, wisdom or thoughts, whatever you want to name it, without taking into account this very privilege. I'm aware I'm privileged, but also I tried to do something different today. So the forest I usually go to and the oak tree I usually visit around Winter Solstice is kind of blocked. So I went there with the car and I noticed a giant patch of mud right where I should go through, and I didn't want to get stuck there because, well, it's not very convenient, to be honest. Not something you would look forward to. And I just went further away on the road I never been to before in my life. I kinda was panicking a bit because I had no idea where I'm going, and the streets were very narrow, and sometimes the road would get narrower so two cars couldn't even pass each other by, so on and so off. And eventually I seen turning to the right. I went there, and there is this giant parking lot in the middle of nowhere as it was waiting for me. And I was like, okay, that's odd. Not so odd when I considered it is near the church with the graveyard. So apparently in certain times of the day and during certain events, people go there. I parked there alone and I walked a bit to the church and back, didn't visit the graveyard. Then I sat down back in my car, I looked through the window and I see these two crows just sitting there on the tree. Nothing too significant, you might say, but this moment was very interesting. I just accepted immediately, no matter what I planned, and it is a sort of my ritual, if you wish. So I planned to visit that specific tree in the specific forest, but something stopped me in my tracks. I rerouted and I was fine with it. I didn't feel anxious, I didn't feel angry. I just let the current take me, and it was most amazing feeling because I was free of my own limitations that I set for myself. Nobody else did that. It's this internal pressure of do this, if you don't do that a certain way, nothing is counted. Yeah, right. Now, let me see if I can go somewhere up. No. I mean, yes, but... So, the place where I'm in now, unfortunately, there is a lot of traffic that can be heard in the background. So it is not as peaceful as I wanted it to be. Just over the hedge there, near the end of the forest, where the path, sort of path, it's not really a path, but never mind, technically, where it ends, there is a civilization. There are shops, huge parking lots, people walking by. I can even hear them now. And I'm sure you can too. Sounds of cars, of different other things. But even here, This is not something where I would go usually. My point is, even if you are in some urban area, try to find a little patch of peace. As long as you are safe and it's approachable, let's say, do it. You don't have to walk far to find yourself. Some people believe that it's necessary and they travel, they go to other continents to maybe live and work there even, then they visit another one. And yes, that's all. It contributes to your growth and experience, but for what we call finding yourself, that's not required. It can help, but let me tell you, it's not required. So don't be sad if you are among the non-privileged ones in some third world country, what we call the third world, because I'm from one as well. And if you're currently still there and your luck is being down on you, even if you are in some developed country, it does not matter. Your financial luck is down or your health is down, whatever it is. I hear ravens. Whatever it is, try to get your little spot of the sunshine. Get the most out of it. Trust me, you can. No matter what happened during the previous year, no matter how bad you feel, remember that we are entering the new cycle. Entire nature is, and you are part of nature, either you want it or not, and your cycles are also restarting in a way. I wish you all the best without too much other rambling. Cherish yourself and love yourself. It is where all the good things start from. Happy winter solstice and cheers.